good? What's good? I'm gonna get y'all the intro in just a second. Let me get the angle right. Alright, there it is. What's good? Back again. Another day. It's your boy, Lil Curtis York, and it's going down in Yorktown. Back again with another live. And today I'm just chilling, man. It's a big Friday. I thought I was gonna have to go to South Carolina to grab Koi, but as it turns out, Grandma Donna is coming into town today, so shout out to her. I don't have to do that. So I get to just kick it, man. Relax a little bit, get my mind right, get my brain together, just play some games, man, because it's really, really, really about to get real in these streets of Yorktown. And to be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to just sit down and play my game since the last time I came on live with y'all, man. And, honestly, I don't know when the next time is that I'm going to be able to casually sit down and play my game. So I'm just going to enjoy it and make the most out of it because I don't know. Um, I think I did mention it to y'all briefly that, I had some very serious prospects as far as what the next career move looks like. And, I'm going to be jumping down the window very, 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 fairly soon. So, what I'm saying? I don't know when the next time is that I'm gonna be able to just sit here and candidly kick it in the middle of the day or to just be able to play games in the middle of the day like this. I don't know. So with that being said, I got about an hour to sit here and kick it with y'all big head people before I gotta go grab the wife. And then even with that, I could be taking this time and editing and uploading the video because I got a couple just sitting in the chamber that I need to finish editing and uploading. But I would rather, honestly, truthfully, sit up here and run my mouth with y'all. That is more fun for me, and it still gets the job done of making sure that I am delivering content for y'all. So that's where we are right now. Um, I hope everybody's having a good day, man. I see we got two people in here. The Solomon Project in the building. What's going on, Rich? How you doing, my man? Um, just in here chopping it up, killing some time before I had to go to the airport to grab the wife and all that good stuff. So yeah, man, it's really, really, really a nice Friday. The weather's nice outside. I woke up and I took a little walk, got the feet moving and all that good stuff. So yeah, man, it's going down in Yorktown, baby. But I've just been focusing, plotting, and planning on the next career move, which luckily things are coming to fruition. So I'm super excited about that. And then, you know, figuring out what's going to happen with Yorktown next and what the direction looks like as far as how we're moving forward. Um, for a while, I've been thinking about starting some auxiliary channels just focused on different things like I was going to do. You got, you put the Yeezys tour. Yeah, man. Even with that, I still got a Yeezy tutorial video where I just sit down and give y'all an update on what it's been like for the past week and some change wearing the Yeezys. Got that coming. And then also today, as I was chilling, so last week I sold some sneakers, not at the sneaker convention, which by the way, I still have to upload that video also. But I went to a store and sold some sneakers. And, as I was talking to the guy, I did a mini interview, which I still need to upload, by the way. So that's coming as well. So when I tell y'all, I definitely have work to do. I do have work to do. And so, we're going to be working on doing a real legitimate interview with him, which is super exciting. So be on the lookout for that. A lot of things are coming together and into fruition, man. So I'm extremely grateful for that. And so, really, the biggest thing at this point is just knocking it out and getting these things done. The video editing, That's fairly easy. That doesn't require anything out of the ordinary or insane to do. It's just a matter of sitting down and doing it. Um, the interview, that's going to be super fun. I've already put the pieces together in motion to make that happen. And basically, man, I keep saying it, but we just have a lot of big things in store for the direction of the channel and where we're moving. And then even just the content that we're talking about. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to shift the channel and not even necessarily shift the channel, but just make sure that I'm giving you guys what you want, man. And it's kind of, and that's based off of looking to the data because any salesperson or any business person, we got my guy Slim Jim Longfoot in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Let me see. Yo, yo. Oh yeah, man. Yo, solo. Yeah, man. Just figuring out. People always say that they want one thing, but the data usually ends up saying something different. So, just trying to figure out how I can make sure that I'm giving you guys the best content that you want. And honestly, so here's what my train of thought is, and I'm gonna chop it up with y'all since I trust you guys' judgment, you two that are in the building right now. So what I'm thinking is, and I have two different scenarios in my head, but they play out just pretty very similar. So what I'm thinking is maybe going live twice a day and fitting it in my schedule. Going live once in the morning and then going live once again in the afternoon, just chopping it up every day. Now the morning live is going to be very, very, very early, depending on, what my work schedule looks like and all of that good stuff. So, if I'm working and I have to wake up early in the morning, that means I'm going to be waking up even earlier to go live and then going live again in the afternoon just to do like a start of the day and the end of the day, like the news basically. The news comes up in the morning and then the news comes on in the afternoon. So maybe following that format and just going live twice a day on this channel right here, the Curtis Short. And then I'm thinking about maybe starting another channel, Yorktown. And Yorktown would primarily focus on the family content, the whole family, meaning everybody that subscribes to Yorktown is a citizen of Yorktown, pretty much the same way as now. But, you know, Yorktown is primarily going to focus on niching down and creating content that's more family oriented, meaning you'll see the kids more and it'll be more of that type of stuff on a regular basis rather than the way that it's structured now, in which everything is here willed in one situation. And the reason that I'm doing that, and I already know I can hear Slim Jim now, the only reason I'm considering doing it that way is because you still get everything, but it's niche down. So for people that want to hear me do reactions and talk about, pop culture and certain situations and circumstances like that, that would live on this channel right here, the Curtis Short. And then Yorktown would be the vlogs, the family stuff, and things like that. And, eventually I was thinking about doing maybe a Yorktown sneaker page or something like that. But I was talking to the wife and just looking at our goals and what we want for the future long term. And honestly, I think we're probably going to chill on big purchases for a minute until we get our housing together and just a whole bunch of other things. Let me see what we got out in these streets, getting some change up, then headed back home to work on the book. I'm not mad at it, brother. Get them coins, man. That's what it's all about. Change makes dollars and dollars make sense and all that good stuff. So I feel you, my guy. But yeah, that's kind of where my brain is right now, just figuring out how I want to organize and structure the future of the channel and what everything looks like moving forward and how we work that out. So believe it or not, as I'm playing the game, I'm thinking because, for me playing the game is just a way to, just think and clear my mind and focus on all that good stuff. So that's that's kind of what I'm thinking, man. we're gonna spread out the channels a little bit. There's gonna be Yorktown, there's gonna be the Curtis York, and maybe an auxiliary channel like Yorktown Sneakers. And the thing about Yorktown Sneakers is I may not even necessarily have to just you know, buy sneakers. Maybe I could just talk about sneakers and do sneaker news and things like that. But I don't know if there's really a market for that. If people want to see folks just talking about sneakers or people actually want to see sneakers being purchased. So, I'm gonna have to do some research on that and kind of see. But that's where I'm leaning as far as the channel overall. And then of course I have the projects that I'm working on with Mike, the Optimist Dad. I mean, the Optimist God. So that's going to be super exciting. And then I also have the project that I'm doing with Alicia, which, right now we've just been doing a lot of running around. So we haven't had the chance to sit down and brainstorm it as much as we would like to. But that's what I'm thinking, y'all. Just opening up and expanding and really growing into this YouTube thing and taking it seriously and making a business out of it because I really enjoy it and I'm really grateful for everyone that I have met through the YouTube game, and I want to make sure that I find a way to work with all of the cool people that I enjoy, and I also make sure that I'm focused on growth and making sure that the channels get what they need. Because honestly, at the end of the day, and then the other piece to that is I want to make sure that my baby grows without, putting too much pressure on it. Because a lot of times, when we start a business, or we're trying to pursue our passions or our goals or our dreams and things like that, we end up putting too much pressure on the actual business before it has the chance to spark and grow. It's like trying to make a baby walk before it's ready. So just trying to figure out how I can encompass all of those things and still make sure that, it is getting the time that it needs to flourish and grow the way that it is supposed to. And everything benefits and it's not slacking off or anything like that. So that's where my mindset is with the future of my channel and the idea of having a few auxiliary channels. Um, I've been playing with the idea for a while because it's like, on one hand, I do want to start a bunch of different channels, but at the same time, I don't. So I don't know. It's been an interesting thing to figure out what it's going to turn into and what it looks like upon completion. But as of right now, that's kind of how I'm thinking things will play out. But, all of this is hypothetical right now. It just kind of depends on the status of what my career looks like and how I move down that path. You know, I have a legitimate business that I'm working on as well. Well, actually, two. I have two businesses that I'm trying to grow right now as well, totally unrelated to YouTube. So those will be, you know, self-sustainable things that don't really have anything to do with YouTube. Now, granted, YouTube could probably benefit from them, but I mean, they could probably benefit from YouTube rather, but they aren't YouTube-based um, ventures, if that makes sense. Let me see what my guy Rich said. That YouTube piece is like going back to school for me. The tasks have me doing things I didn't know how to do. Yeah, man, 100%. And trust me when I tell you that you are not the only person that is, going back to school and learning their craft and figuring things out. Anybody that says that they have YouTube figured it out 100% and doesn't work for YouTube directly is lying. I mean, even Mr. Beast will tell you that he's still trying and experimenting and learning things every day, and he is the biggest YouTuber. So everybody's learning and everybody's working and perfecting their craft and doing that. So, we're all going through the same struggle. We're all learning and growing together and, exchanging notes and figuring out what works and what doesn't work and the whole nine, man. So you're definitely not alone in that ideology and that train of thought. YouTube is definitely like school. I know I try to spend at least 30 minutes to an hour every day just researching and learning more about YouTube just so I can make sure that things are growing and making sense. Like I've been working on my thumbnails, I've been looking at better titles and ways to overall just, be more marketable, but at the same time, not chase things and be organic. So we all learning, man. Thank you for the support. Is that support? Thank you for the exposure. Oh yeah, 100%, man. Thank you for the support, man. I really genuinely enjoy your content, man. Like when I shout somebody out or I support them, it's genuinely because I enjoy their content. Like I don't just randomly say, "Oh yeah, man, I like this person, or I like that person." Like there's a lot of people that I genuinely don't enjoy their content and I won't shout them out. Like regardless of what we say we have to do or what we're supposed to do. If I don't like I if you come to Yorktown, then you trust my opinion at least to somewhat of a degree because there are so many other things that you could be doing with your time, but you sitting up here watching me or kicking it with me or listening to me talk. So I feel like if I send you a recommendation or a suggestion, then the least I could do is vet it and make sure that I like it and enjoy it personally. So that's kind of my philosophy on that, which again is to say um, brother, I really, really, really do enjoy your content, which is why I share it and show it to people and make sure that they support as well. Same with Slim Jim and pretty much everybody else. It's all about, making sure that we all work together, but at the same time, you can only work with people that you really kind of get along with. Like if you look at most jobs right now, they're hiring on, what's the word? On if it's a fit more so than if you can actually do the job. Slim keeps me engaged too. Yeah, man. Again, it's all about genuine support, man, more than anything. Just making sure that we're all growing because if you grow and you share me with your audience and I grow and I share you with my audience, then ultimately we all win, which is what we doing it for, man. If you're not on YouTube building relationships and networking, you know what I'm saying? What are you really doing? And that's something that I've noticed and I've learned. Like people come to YouTube because YouTube is focused on attention, and keeping in people's attention. And then hopefully when you get that person's attention, not intention. If you get that person's attention, then you're giving them something in exchange for that attention. Providing value, man, which is the cornerstone of any business. You got to provide value. But yeah, that's that soapbox. So basically, I said all of that to say, I really do enjoy your content, and me sharing it is literally the least I could do. So thank you, Rich, for always making cool content that's easy to push out there and share. But yeah, man, like it's been so crazy this week because it's just been me. Um, the wife's been gone. She's coming back today, thank goodness. And y'all, let me tell you, man. Um, I ain't even been able to record as much as I would have liked to. The vlog's been looking crazy and the whole nine. So my mom is coming up today. It is my hope that I can get some editing done and make sure we get the channel back rocking. Cause I know 100% that my watch time is gonna take a hit whenever it catches up to this week because I've been slacking. Now, granted, I did go live yesterday, so my watch time should be okay. But I know it's not gonna be trending as high upward as it was previously. So yeah. Anyways, Rich, where are you at this time? I know you usually be on the road. York, I noticed a drop in the number of posts. Yeah, man. It's hard to do that when I gotta make sure that the kids don't die, and what I'm saying. Like, just even, like, man, it's been a week, man. Like I said yesterday, I don't condone it at all to the single parents, but I do tip my hat because to be a full time single parent and you're responsible for every single thing and you don't have any help, man, I would not want to trade places. I'm in Hotlanta. Man, if you're in Atlanta, then number one, you should definitely try to figure out how you can link up with Slim Jim. That would be super dope. And number two, you need to go to that hot wing spot that you went to last time and you didn't show us the wings. And I need to see what these wings look like. So that's your homework, brother. Can you make that happen? This is 100% giving the audience what they want. I want to see these wings that you posted last time. You showed us the restaurant, but you didn't show us the wings, which is crazy. So I need to see what these wings look like. And then also, I need you to figure out if you can connect with Slim, um, depending on how long you're in Atlanta and what that looks like. Because I definitely want to see what y'all two cook up. Maybe y'all meet and get the wings together, or whatever the case may be. But oh yeah, speaking of changes of the direction of the channel, also man, I was talking to the wife, and I know I briefly mentioned it, but I'm gonna expand upon that a little further. Like, we are really, really, really about to, hunker down and get our finances in order in terms of one, fixing all of the debt that we got into with this current stint of me being unemployed, and two, getting rid of the existing debt that we had prior. So it's definitely about to be a lot of changes. And maybe that information will be on. Wow, I didn't show the wings. That's hurtful. I apologize for that. No, I think it was either the wings or a pizza spot. I can't remember, but it's one of the shorts that you made. I think it was the wings, and you didn't show us the wings. So you really need to do that. Don't apologize. No, I don't want an apology. I want you to go back to that restaurant and show us. Order some wings, bro, and show us. But yeah, man. In all seriousness, yeah, me and the wife, we sat down and we had a conversation, and we decided that more than anything, the future of what we're going to be working on together as a couple, um, is fixing our debt, getting our credit together, and a whole nine. So, yeah, the channel is definitely going to look a lot different because we're going to be cutting back, man. We're not going to be eating out as much. And I know if my mom actually watches this live, she's going to love to hear that. But, cutting back on eating out, calculating what we grocery shop for, and probably buy in bulk or whatever we have to do to make our money stretch, because luckily, even though right now it may not look like it, I think I picked a solid career path in construction, because there's always building that's going on, and then project management as well, because there's always someone that can use a project manager, whether it's a construction project manager or it's you know, a IT project manager. People will need project managers. So, I think I'm safe there. And so, the channel's gonna focus more on that aspect too, those types of things, just how we're ratcheting down and budgeting and saving and preparing for all the elimination of debt. That's a systematic way of lowering your debt. There is a systematic way of lowering your debt while you invest. It's explosive. Yeah, man, 100%. And honestly, I'm glad you said that, because I am going to be reaching out to you and talking to you a lot about that specifically. Investing. And because obviously I know that if you put your money in the bank, you don't necessarily get a decent you don't get a return on it. Like, granted, I got an email earlier this week about a CD, putting my money in a CD account, and then getting a return off of that. And if it would have been a year CD, then it would have made a lot of sense, because it was like a 5.2 return, but it had to sit for 4 months. So I did the math, and it only came out to like $16, and you had to put in 1,000. So the interest rate initially sounded great. Like, yeah, man, I put $1,000 up for a year. Don't touch it, forget about it, and then I get like $500 back on top of my $1,000, so it'll be $1,500 just sitting in a savings account. Like this is a no brainer. But then they were like, yeah, that rate only holds for 4 months, and then it's like, uh, it's not as appealing as it was before. So, it's still something worth considering and looking into. But you know, we're definitely going to explore other options as well as far as putting that money away. There are better options than CDs. Of course, and like I said, that's why I want to chop it up with you to kind of look into exploring those options and, reaping the most out of the money that I get coming up because, like I said, I think I told y'all already, that's no secret. I had two interviews. One was 3 hours, the other was 6 hours. I know that's crazy as HE double hockey sticks. It sounds unreal to me. But either way, next this time next week I'll either be working or um moving into my next job depending on when they want to start or whatever. And so, I'll definitely be a higher income earner. So I have to figure out what we need to live with, what we're going to put away and let grow, whether it's in a particular stock choice, and then how we're going to work on paying down debt. Because ultimately, the strategy that I'm thinking of right now is going to be hyper aggressive, meaning that, we cut back and we save, but then also while we're saving, we're paying down debt and we're investing. So, a lot of the consumer activities and things that we used to do in the past that people enjoy seeing on Yorktown, that's going to come to a grinding halt as we focus on that. And, I just want to make sure that I am putting my money in the right places. So, yeah, Rich, 100%. I do want to talk to you and figure out what that path looks like and how to proceed and move forward. Because honestly, when I talk to a lot of boomers and you know older people, a lot of times when I try to have high level conversations with them, all they do is say a bunch of generic stuff that they heard on Kramer or they read in the news, but they like to give a lot of advice on what they think instead of what they know. And that's extremely frustrating because I'm not a what I think type of person. Like if I give y'all advice and I say something, then I'm telling y'all what I know or what I believe to be true based off of what I've researched, not something that I happen to glance over and see and say, oh, yeah, that sounds like it makes sense. Now, I like to, be as accurate and detailed as possible with the information that I try to present and put out there. And I notice that a lot of people don't like to deal that way. And so it causes a lot of personality clashes with me because I just don't operate that way. And no disrespect to people that do operate that way. That's just not how I operate. So it causes a lot of confusion and friction that I think could be easily avoided. So I said all of that to say, Rich, I would love to have a conversation with you because I know that you speak on things that you're actually doing, not things that you think or things that sound cool, but things that you actually put into practice. So I trust your judgment. Like you mentioned, consumption is a huge piece of the puzzle. Oh, 100%. Consumption is horrible. If you look at a lot of us, we don't like to sit down and review our finances because it's like holding a mirror to yourself, especially with your insecurities. And a lot of us don't like to admit that we have bad spending habits until it's too late. And then when people try to give you advice to fix your spending habits, it doesn't usually pan out too well. But I'm a very realistic person, and I can easily admit it costs me nothing to just say, hey, I know that I've spent a lot of money on things that I shouldn't have, and I'm working on fixing that. So yeah, man. Anyways, I said all of that once again to say that's the goal, man. That's what we're looking at. And, I'm going to take y'all with me on the journey. I'm going to show y'all because, I'm a, I'm a firm believer in doing and not talking. So I'm taking y'all with me, man. Y'all gonna see how Yorktown claws their way out of debt, what it looks like, and how everything operates. So I'm definitely excited about that. That's going to be a very fun project, just in real time, fixing the mess of debt and just going through those situations and circumstances. Ultimately, it definitely plays a role in how I see myself as a parent too, because I think that I jumped out before I was ready. And if my kids say, hey, I feel like I'm not ready for the world, I want to stay home for a while and get myself together and get on my feet, I'm like, oh, by all means, please stay home. We'll figure it out. But I'm not gonna be one of those parents that's pushing my kids out there into the world and they're not ready and they're not prepared, or they're going to college and they don't know anything about student loans, but they're going to college just because they feel like they have to. Like, nah, we have to, one, learn from our mistakes, and two, make sure that the people that come behind us don't repeat the same stupid mistakes that we made. Like, we can say that we didn't know better, and maybe or maybe not. You might be able to get a pass, but we don't have the luxury at this point of saying that we don't know better, because we are out here. And if you've been on this channel enough, then you know that I've ranted so many times about how people just need to be honest and people need to tell the truth and stop capping, because the more that we sit up here and lie and act like things are good when they aren't, it doesn't help anyone at all. Nobody benefits from people lying and flexing like they have it when they don't, or whatever the case may be. It's all about just transparency and honesty. And honestly, when I do keep it real with y'all and tell y'all what we have going on, those are the videos that people like the most. So, yeah, I get a lot of views when I talk about some um, Yeezy pods. Those videos do numbers and they go up, and that's cool. I could live with that because the shoes are only $20, so it's not like an extreme investment or anything like that. But ultimately, the content that I enjoy making, and I think that people really, really, the people that stay, they enjoy hearing, the real mature conversations. God, family, and business. Yeah, man, 100%. I'm not mad at that. That's definitely a great mindset to have, because, having your business affairs in order, man, that is just a breath of fresh air, man. It's one less thing that you don't have to worry about when you have your finances in order and, all of that good stuff. So, that's what we're focused on over here, man. And I'm hoping that a lot of people will join us on that journey, and we make it cool to get our finances in order, and we make it cool to, what I'm saying, prepare and handle our business and, you know, be solid people. That's what we focusing on, man. All the other stuff, it is what it is, man. But the economy and the direction that it's moving, a lot of people are going to be hurt. And, like I said, I'm extremely grateful, man, that we were able to be in a position, in a situation where, I was able to be down for a second and our whole world didn't blow up. Finances kills most relationships. Um, troubles and hard times, that stuff kills a lot of relationships. But, honestly, I think it made my relationship with my wife stronger. And that in itself is a blessing. It made my relationship with the people around me a lot stronger. That part you mentioned about being there for your children is huge. It is, man, because, all right. I was trying not to get too deep, but Rich, you touched on it, so now we got to go there. No Diddy. Um, from what I see, from the outside looking in, I feel like we, and when I say we, I'm talking about Black people. We seem to be the only group of people that force our children out before they're ready, and they are unprepared for the world. And I think that that is insane. Like, if you look at other groups of people and you look at their families, they will casually tell you that they have, one or two generations in the house. Like, you got mom, grandma, or if you look at immigrants, for example, whether legal or illegal, I'm not getting into that, but 9 times out of 10, you'll see them all popped up together in a house, and we have the nerve to be laughing at them because we don't know better. But they, pull their resources together. They cut down on bills. They cut down on expenses, and then they come up. And while we laughing at them, thinking that they are, what I'm saying, living crazy, they are actually winning, and we're the ones that are looking crazy because now everybody owns a house or they have equity in it, and we're still sitting here paying rent with all of these fancy trinkets, but we don't have anything tangible or any assets to show for it. So let me see. That's true. It's a figure it out for yourself attitude. Yeah, man, and it usually comes back and bites us in the tail, man, because as we're trying to figure it out, we're destroying our credit and we're making bad choices and just doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff because we have too much pride or what I'm saying, we don't have a choice. We only have to deal with the cards that we were dealt and we have to figure it out. And bruh, I am not doing that to my kids. Like, I have nothing bad to say about parents and their parenting style and parents that chose to do that or parents that are planning to do that. I had to figure it out, so you had to figure it out. It is what it is. Everybody has to parent to their own style and do what works for them. But personally, for me, bro, I'm not doing that to my kids. Like, if we got to figure it out and you got to stay home a little longer until you decide what you want to do, then bro, I get it. I get it, man. Because the last thing I want to do is throw you out into the world before you're ready. And then, what I'm saying, because you're trying to figure it out, you dig yourself into a deeper hole. And now you're trying to climb out of the hole. And you got all this other stuff going on that could have easily been avoided had you just sat down and stayed home. So, yeah, that's my mindset, man. It ain't about being grown. It ain't about being mature and all that stuff. Nah, nah, we not doing that. We weren't like that back in um where? We weren't like that back in Tulsa. Oh yeah, man. Tulsa, Raleigh. Like, you get into that, man. Like, shoot, you go back to any time period back in the day, man. People had to work together because they didn't have a choice. But we like to play a lot of individual sports. If you talk to most black people, their favorite sport is basketball because basketball highlights the end of, and obviously what's the word? I'm generalizing. So, take that with a grain of salt. But at the same time, a lot of us like the individual. We like one particular player. We don't like teams. We don't like team sports. And that translates into how we operate with each other. Like, I remember I went to a HBCU, and when I was, we used to travel a lot just to go to other colleges and have fun and things like that. And I remember I was talking to a girl at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I was talking to this girl, and she was talking about how, you know, they study together and they review answers and they collaborate. And, if one person takes a test and they fail the test, then that study group gets together and they figure out what that person failed, and then they go back and try to retake the test so they can up their grades. And us, man, when we fail, we like to be shy and hide and act like it didn't happen, and that's just crazy to me. So we got to do better playing team ball and team sports rather than trying to be the individual and trying to figure things out on our own because it ends up hurting us way more than it helps us in the long run. So yeah, man, I'm definitely not pushing my kids out. And that's also why I'm learning skills like how to build a house. And I'm having friends that are builders and things like that because, bruh, if we got to, then we just gonna add on to the house or, you got to stay here, then maybe you pay utilities and we take that money and we put it aside or something like that. But it's definitely not no. All right, you 18, you got to go to the army or you got to do this or that. Like, nah, bro, we're not doing that. Like, and again, if it worked out for a lot of people, then kudos. But I feel like those same people would have been a lot better off had they had the option to stay home and practice group economics. So I don't know, man. But ultimately, what do I know? I'm only speaking from the outside looking in. I don't know. And I'm not afraid to say I don't know and I don't have the answers. I can only speak on what seems like it makes the most sense. And honestly, the way things are looking, a lot of us aren't going to be able to even buy a house. Like with the way that the world is going and expenses and things like that, if you don't get control of your spending, then, we're done anyway. So it's just a lot of figuring things out. And hopefully, y'all are along for the ride and we figure it out together, man. And we get these things rolling and save ourselves, bro, because ain't nobody coming to save us, bro. That's the reality. Ain't nobody coming to save us, dog. Like, it doesn't matter who becomes the president. Granted, it matters in the sense of what policy looks like and how things are affected on a larger scale. But ultimately, ain't nobody coming to save us, bro. Like, if we don't figure it out and we don't work together as groups and you know, collective collectively unify our forces, bruh. Ain't nobody coming to save us, y'all. So we have to figure it out ourselves. And then once we figure it out, then our responsibility, in my opinion, is to make sure that everybody else that comes behind it doesn't have to learn the way that we did. Like we have to make it easier for them so that they can maneuver out here and get what they need done, bruh. Because it is really, really, really nasty out here, bruh. Like it is. The world is unforgiving, especially if you're a man. Like if you're a woman, you may be able to skate by, or you know, people might look out for you, or they might feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? You might look up and marry the right person and be straight. But as men, hey, the world is cool and unforgiving, bro. Like nobody feels sorry for a man that doesn't have it together. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. That's just how the world is. So, with that being said, we got to. We don't have the luxury or the option to not be on our A game and not be figuring things out. I think that I have been able to weather the storm of being unemployed for so long because it's not like, what I'm saying, I've been sitting on my hands doing nothing. Like my wife seen when Saturday rolls around, I'm going to home inspection training. I'm getting my certification. I'm getting my OSHA 30. I'm doing XYZ. So, you know, there's never been a point in time where I've just been doing nothing. Even with the YouTube thing, like I'm making videos and I'm pushing and I have a strategy and a plan for how I'm going to grow the channel. I'm not just poking around. Like even right now, while I'm playing my video game, having a good time, I'm on live chopping it up with the people. Like I could just be sitting in here wasting time, not doing anything, or I could be here chopping it up with y'all and having constructive conversations as I'm playing the game. And so there's a level of respect that comes with that. So, it's just being active, man, and being active in ways that actually are useful. We got my girl Nikki P in the building. Shout out to Nikki P, my girl. That's why I spend as much as I can within our community. Are you subscribed to Orlando Minor? No, I never heard of him. I'm gonna check him out. Hardworking man. Hi, Nikki. Hello. Yeah, bro. Like Nikki, 100%. And shout out to Nikki P, man. Let me tell y'all something, bro. Y'all always hear me say I like Nikki's channel and I like Nikki's content. Let me tell y'all something about my girl Nikki, man. Nikki is one of the most straightforward, upfront people that you will ever meet. And a lot of people are scared of straightforward, upfront people. And I think that honestly, People like being lied to so much that when they come across somebody that tells them the truth, they get uncomfortable. Like I love talking to Nikki because I know what I'm going to get, and I know I don't have to guess, and I don't have to try to figure out what she's thinking or how she feels. She's going to tell you, bro. And again, like I said, I think a lot of people are just uncomfortable and intimidated by those types of people because they like being lied to. Like people do not like the truth, and a lot of people say they want the truth, but then when somebody sits up there and tells them the truth, they get intimidated or they get uncomfortable or they get scared, and it's like nah, bro, you say you want the truth. This person is doing you a favor. You don't have to guess. You don't have to figure it out. You know where they stand. And, you have to deal according to that, which is honestly relieving, bro. Like, when you get into corporate America and you get into, what I'm saying, all these little political games that people play, and you got to try to play three-dimensional chess and figure people out like that and stuff like that, that gets so annoying so fast when you come across somebody that's going to say, look, this is what it is. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm not going to do. Can you rock with that? Bruh, it's like a breath of fresh air, man. Like, you don't come across people like that very often. So when you do, my character type, bro, I gravitate to those types of people because it's like, wow, thank you. Like, I don't have to guess. I don't have to figure it out. I know where you stand. I know where the line is. I know how to deal with you. I know what to say. I know what not to say. I know. I'm not playing a guessing game. Like, oh, can I say this? If I say this, I might hurt her feelings. If I say that, it might make her feel. Nah, bro. Don't nobody have time for that, dog. It's like, this is what it is. This is what it's not. If you like it, cool. If you don't, cool. And honestly, it just saves so much time and so much headache, bro. And yeah, man, that's why I like Nikki. So once again, shout out to Nikki, bro. I mean, I swear, I was thinking the woman in my family are like Nikki. I love her personality. I swear, I was thinking that the other day. Folks claim to want you to be 100, but can't take it. Just tell me. Right, exactly, dog. Like, bruh, like, dog, like, and that's the thing. A lot of people say that they grown. A lot of people say that they don't lie, they don't cheat, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be, bruh. Just say what it is. And I promise you, like, and I don't think this is before my wife, so I can tell it. Like I remember there was one girl that I was dealing with a long time ago, back in college, totally different person. You know what I'm saying? Like I would just tell her what it is, and she'd be like, okay. And it worked. It was cool. It was very, very, very cool. We had an amazing, whatever you want to call it, situationship or whatever. It was cool because she knew where I stood. I knew where she stood, and that was that. And honestly, a lot of times I was the one that was like, "Oh, bruh, she is cold. Like I gotta." Like, all right, if you go out and you do this, that's cool, but don't be mad when I go out and do X, Y, Z. And it's like, bro, that's fair. Like, and it was times where I was like, oh man, bro, like, damn, maybe I'm tripping, but like, oh, hey, bro, as men, we like to act tough and we like to act like stuff don't get to us, but bro, like, if you dealing with a woman and she keep it 100 with you, bro, like, there's something about us as men where we have our egos, and what I'm saying, when women say certain things, like, bruh, you can sit here and act tough and act like it don't get to you, but that stuff be getting to you, dog. And so ultimately, I was like, I'm just gonna chill out, bruh, because I know how she moving, bruh, and the way that she's moving, I don't like it. And granted, all she's doing is what I'm doing, but I'm sitting here trying to act tough, and she genuinely doesn't care. But I think I care, so I might want to chill. So you know what I'm saying? Like, again, it works both ways. Like we love as men, we love to say, "Oh yeah, we think logical," and women think emotional, bruh. When you run across a woman that thinks logical and she really does, chances are you probably wouldn't be able to handle it, bruh. Like, you say you can, and it sounds good, and what I'm saying, it may be a stroke to your ego to act like it, bruh, but when you come across that, bruh, all right, we'll see. Like I could, like I'm self-aware enough to be honest and admit that I chilled out because I didn't like it when I was getting back what I was putting out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes will sit up here and act like, oh yeah, man, that won't phase me. But be sitting in the corner, bruh, crying and hurt, like hurt, but won't say nothing. And that's the worst kind of hurt when you hurt, but you can't talk about it because then you'll look crazy. Like that type of hurt, that type of pain right there, bruh. I swear, for real, exactly. Like, bro, there's a lot of dudes right now that are suffering in silence because they trying to act tough and they really not built like that, and they can't go talk to their friends because you know what I'm saying. Then they gonna have to admit how they really feel. I'm like, nah, bro. I'll say like, yo, I didn't like that. You know that. Nah, bro. And then the other thing about that is when you play those games, if you get the right woman, there's no limit to how far she'll go to hurt you. Like if you play that game, then you gotta understand, bro. There are some women out here that will do things just to spite you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You act like you don't care about that girl, and then she turn around and she mess with one of your homeboys, and then you got to sit there and act like you don't care, but you know that cut you deep, like, cause now you got to look at her funny, and you can't go back. But now you got to look at your homeboy, cause it's like and you can't be mad at your homeboy because the whole time you was acting like you didn't care. So if you didn't care, then you got to keep that same energy. You can't care now because she did whatever she did. So I was like, bro, I'll tell my wife in a heartbeat. And she's not even built like that. Like again, we just being candy, y'all. We just talking. Like my wife, she's not that type of woman. She wouldn't go that far. She wouldn't do anything like that. But if she does something that I don't like, or she does something that, makes me feel any type of way, then I will express that feeling. Like, hey, when you did X, this is how I felt. And it's not like I'm whining or complaining. I'm just merely stating that when you did A, B happened, and B didn't make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if you play around with a woman and you really, really, really bark up that tree, then ain't no telling how far that woman will go to make you feel something or to call your bluff. How's the stream? Who is that? Um, Sammy and Dewan. What's going on? We just killing. We just chilling. We just chilling. This ain't no, what I'm saying? This ain't really no stream. We just talking though. We just talking, man. But no, that's the truth, man. Feelings are valid. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. Like a lot of dudes be like, granted, even what Nikki just said just now, like, yes, as men, we do have feelings, but there's a difference between acknowledging your feelings and operating purely based off of feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't, like, I'll give you an example. Like, obviously, I've been telling y'all, things been getting tight around the house financially. And, just figuring out how to pay bills and things like that, it's definitely been, you know, a challenge, but we've been figuring it out. And my wife, for the most part, she's even killed and, she's balanced. But sometimes, every once in a blue moon, she would get anxious. Like, hey, how are we going to pay this bill? Or what are we going to do? And, you know what I'm saying? If I sit up here and I start acting like her, like, oh my God, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we're going to pay these bills. And I'm just purely thinking in my feelings, like, bruh, why is she dating me? Like, she could date a woman for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, our feelings are valid and our feelings do matter. But at the same time, like, I can't be panicking and responding the same way that she's responding to any given situation. Like, one of us has to say, all right, look, this is what it is. This is what we're going through. This is what we're going to do. Like, for me, it's if we need to make some money real quick, I know that I can do A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and I'll make a couple of dollars real quick. So I really don't trip, Or worst case scenario, if I gotta holler at somebody, I'm good because I've lent out so much money that I've never gotten back, and that's another topic for another day. But if we need to get if money is the problem, then we don't really have a major problem because a lot of times you can just call these people and set up a payment arrangement, or there's a lot of ways around. So, if money is the problem, then I don't really feel like we have a problem. But that's because I've not had money before. So I know how things work. My wife, she luckily, hasn't had to go through those types of things to the degree that I've had to. So, she may not see things the same way that I do, but you know, that's just that's what I'm saying, man. Ultimately, where I'm going with that is, as men, if you want to be the so-called leader, or if you want to be the so-called provider, or any of those types of things, you can't be out here, what I'm saying, playing around or acting like the woman. And, I don't even know how I got here. Like, I promise you, this is not at all a relationship thing. I don't give relationship advice. I don't do that. And I know that there's a huge market for that. And shout out to all of those people who are milking the internet by talking about relationship and giving horrible dating topics and things like that. Y'all make y'all coins. I'm not mad at it. But what I will say ultimately is, as a man, if you say you want to be the leader and you say that you want to solve problems and, what I'm saying, have your woman listen to you and respect you, then you have to be somebody worthy of respect. And you have to be somebody, like, you don't just get that because you're a man. You know what I'm saying? Which, honestly, nobody should just get anything just because. Like, that's not realistic. That's not how the world works. Like, you earn things. Like, you go to work and you earn a paycheck. You know what I'm saying, get respect because you earn respect. And, you know, that's how the world works. Let me see. True, we all feeling it. I feel you. Dope to have solid folks. 100%. I will pay, man, arrange everything in a heartbeat. 100%, bro. Like, people be sitting here trying to impress people and all this other stuff. Like, now, granted, when things were up, I was trying to pay bills early just to, cut down on worrying and things like that. But shit, and it actually works out in your favor because when things slow down or circumstances change, they're way more willing to work with you when you've already built that relationship and you've shown that you are serious. But shit, when that ain't the time no more, in a heartbeat, yeah, let me get that payment arrangement. I need help. You know what I'm saying? I need XYZ. Like right now, times are difficult. Times are different. So what can we work out? And you know what I'm saying? People act like they too cool to call or, do those types of things. And it's like, all right, you sit here and look stupid if you want. I'm about to call these people and I'm about to get this payment arrangement. You have fun struggling to figure it out. I ain't never paid a thing ahead on time. And I'm not mad at that. Again, you know what I'm saying? I don't say that to brag. I say that because, again, there was a point where bills were in over my head. And right now we're kind of back there where, the bills are coming in crazy. So, in that instance, I would so, when I say that, let me give y'all context. Like, so the car insurance, for example, like instead of paying the car insurance every month, it makes sense to pay it off for the 6 months if you can. That way, the money that you would have spent for the car insurance, you just take it and you put it away and you do something else. You know what I'm saying? That way, you're getting your money, and in a way, it kind of evens out. So, in those instances, yes. Or, you know, I accidentally, and this was so aggravating. This is something recently. Like this wasn't even like actually trying to do it. It just so happened to work out that way. Like panicking. Again, I tell you. So panicking, our light bill got a little higher and they were talking about possibly, coming out here and getting rid of the lights. And so when we got paid, I paid the light bill and then my wife paid the light bill. And so now we have a credit on the light bill because we both paid because of panicking. Again, it's like that panic, like we both can't be panicking. And granted, in that situation, I wasn't panicking. I wasn't tripping because I already had a plan. But again, my wife, she's not used to those circumstances. So she was panicking. And so now we have a credit on the light bill because we paid it early and that money's just sitting. Which granted, I would much rather have that money right now than it just sitting. But, the positive is we don't have to worry about the light bill for a while. So, there's that. Let me see. Hmm, let me see. I just got a text message that say, hold on, let me see. Man, folks be on vacation under payment arrangements. Nah, I was just thinking that I'm really irresponsible because I've never been there. Congrats on the new position. I just got a call from XYZ for a reference check. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Facts. So yeah, we got things in line and things are working out. But yeah, man, like again, welcome back, welcome back. Nah, I was just thinking I'm really irresponsible because I've never been there. Yeah, man, and that's all right, bro. Like again, when I say that I got there, like that's because yo, again, like, bro, this is Yorktown. I can keep it 100 with y'all. Like, I don't care. Like, bro, that's because I've been evicted and I had to freaking go back. And I think I told y'all this story before. I had to go work at freaking Food Line with a master's degree. And let me tell y'all something, man. When you got to go back to your hometown and you got to go take up a job that you don't really want, or, what I'm saying, you got to be grateful because somebody looked out for you. And all of that stuff, it really, really, really gives you a different mindset, man. So, at that time, it's like, bro, this is all it costs to just have peace of mind for 6 months and not have to continue to pay this bill. Like, let me just go ahead on and knock that out. You know what I'm saying? That's honestly, I wouldn't even consider that responsibility. I would consider that trauma. Like, that was a trauma response. Hey, bro, that was a trauma response. That was what the I don't even want to say their name, but the people that were victims of the Holocaust, they have a famous saying, "Never again." That's what that was, bro. That was me saying, "Never again." Like if all I got to do is pay this little bit of money, and I have peace of mind if something happened or something fall off, that's worth it for me. And so that's what that was. It wasn't like a stat or a bragging point or anything like that. That was literally I am scared. So let me do that. Like that's what that was. Like this is fear, bro, and that fear is making me move differently. So that's what that was. I would be lying if I was just sitting here like, yeah, man. I was just so responsible, and I sat down one day, and that just made so much sense. Nah, that was, bruh. If something happened, I just need one less thing to worry about. So that's what that was. But yeah, man. One thing I'm noticing is, it's, and I'm glad Nikki said it, right? Like a lot of people are feeling it. A lot of people are going through these situations, but a lot of people are up here faking and flexing and not wanting to have these adult conversations and, what I'm saying, suffering in silence. I don't mind sharing my story because I know number one, it might help somebody out. And number two, shoot, maybe somebody might be able to figure something out and we can work something out. So I don't mind. And plus, it's like, again, like I was saying earlier, like if I'm struggling and I'm going through something and I can save somebody else from going through what I went through, why wouldn't I tell that person, like, yo, you might want to chill out on doing XYZ because if you do that, then this is going to happen. And, unless you're prepared and you're ready for that, then, bruh, you don't have to learn that lesson. Learn the lesson from my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Jay Z said Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. Like, bruh, if I can stop somebody from making the dumb mistakes that I've made, bruh, I feel like I've done a service. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to learn the way that I learned just so you could, what I'm saying? I had to do it, so you had to do it. That is so selfish to me, dog. Like, and no shade to the people that feel like that's the best way to teach a lesson. I mean, I guess, but I'm not like that, bro. If I can stop you from the pain and the heartbreak and the lessons and the mistakes that I've learned, and all I got to do is just tell you what I did, and you don't do it, and I think that's a win, bro. Like, but to each his own, man. To each his own. Let me see. Sometimes it really helps to know you're not the only one. Exactly, bruh. Like everybody's hurting right now, bruh. Like it is hard out here. Like again, I commend people that can honestly go home and live with their parents and have things straight. Like, yeah, I probably can't tell y'all that because I'll get in trouble. But let me just say this. If you're an adult and you have to move back with your parents and you have a situation where your parents are cool and they're willing to let you move back in, and even if they're not cool, you know what I'm saying, but they give you the option to move back in and all you got to do is follow their rules, bruh, you better go back home. Like, who are you trying to impress? Hey, bro, you better go back home. And when you get back home, you follow all of those rules and you save and you be thankful that you don't have to be out here with the rest of us that gotta figure it out, bruh. Because it is nasty. Like, it is really, really, really a blessing if you can go home with your parents and help out on some bills and utilities, you know what I'm saying? And you can still make enough to save. Like, bruh, don't bring your tail out here because you want to try to lay up with somebody or you want to stay out late and try to hang with people that, you know what I'm saying, are going out. Like, you going out and them going out for totally different reasons. Like, they're going out because they're stressed and they need a break. You going out just because you want to be out and be mixy in the building. Like, bro, if you don't sit your tail home and listen to your parents and save that money, like, bro, like, we just make a lot of bad choices, bro. Other cultures will live together and help with the kid. Yes, bro. That's why we would. That's what I was just saying. I'm starting to question why do we all live separately to struggle? Exactly, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? If Like, granted, I wouldn't move back with my mom because if I moved back with my mom, I would take, like, there's no way. We live in a my mom lives in a very, very, very small town. And, you know what I'm saying, the jobs and all of that stuff, I wouldn't be making that much money. Now, granted, childcare would be taken care of for the most part, which would help out a lot. So theoretically, I wouldn't need to make as much money, but at the same time, there's a lot of other factors to where it just wouldn't make sense for me. But there's a lot of people that it makes perfect sense for. And y'all are freaking being stubborn. Like, y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? The opportunities and the money that I can make here, like, I would never be able to make those there. And if I did, by the time I factor in how far I would have to drive or a hotel or XYZ, like, it would cancel out. So, there's a lot of people that have that opportunity and they're passing on it. And man, boy, the world will humble you. The world will humble you. We weren't like that back in the day. Understandable. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, when you say back in the day, how far are you talking? Like, are you talking when you say we, are you talking about you personally, Rich, or when you say we, are you talking about like black people collectively? Because my mom is in her 60s and my dad is in his 60s as well. And they their train of thought, well, their parents told them that, yo, you got to go to the military or you got to do XYZ, but you got to get out. Like, you can't stay here. We can't have a bunch of grown people in our house. So when you say we, who is we? What are you talking about? The we generation did some harm. Black people collect. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, 'cause I was about to say, like, my mom specifically told me, my mom and my dad both told me, and my uncles, they both told me. Like, I remember my uncle was telling me, it's not funny, but it's just so crazy to think about. Like, when my uncle graduated from high school, he was telling me about how, there was one of his classmates that she was outside crying at graduation, and everybody else was happy. And, of course, they're classmates. So he asked her, like, why are you crying? And he was like, she said that she was crying because her dad told her that, all right, you 18, so you got 2 weeks to figure out what you're going to do, but you can't stay here. And you know what I'm saying? It didn't seem like she was ready, but she didn't have a choice. So, you know what I'm saying? That generation, bruh, and that was what, the 80s, the 90s, the 80s? Yeah, that was the 80s, like, that's That's crazy, bro. Like, I couldn't imagine. Like, granted, I knew that when I graduated, I was gonna go to college, which hindsight, I was able to make college work for me, but I ended up getting a master's in something totally unrelated to my bachelor's degree. Like, I went to school for education and, I ended up going to construction just based off of the money. So, I knew that my room and board would be taken care of. But had I known, and honestly, I didn't really incur any student loans until grad school, just trying to be competitive in the marketplace. So, yeah, man, if I knew what I knew then, I'd probably been crying too. Puerto Ricans, a few doors down from me, have about 3 to 4 generations in one townhouse. Nikki, is it 3 or 4 generations in a room? I don't know, but heck, they're making it work. Right. So, I'll give you another example. Across the street from me right now, there were some Mexicans that bought a house, and the house that they bought, like the houses in our neighborhood. So, yeah, the houses in our neighborhood range from about 350 to four, between 300 and 400,000. That house was selling for 600,000. And the crazy thing about it is, the house is selling for 600,000, which is one thing. But there's some new houses down the street, like brand new houses that are selling for the same price. And so the Mexicans overpaid, and I don't know if they're Mexicans or not, so let me not say Mexicans. Spanish speaking people, I want to be respectful. So Spanish speaking people, I know that they speak Spanish. Um, those people that speak Spanish bought that house and they paid a pretty decent price for that house, but they paid cash. And I don't know if it's 3 or 4 generations, but I know that there's more than one generation that lives there. And they all pitched in and they all paid for that house together and they paid cash. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't have to worry about loans. They paid cash and they own that house and that's theirs. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many generations it is or whatever the case may be, they own that house together. And they probably got childcare factored in because I see a bunch of little kids over there and whatnot. So, they got the game together. But, a lot of us, man, we be trying to impress people and look cool. And the thing is, number one, the people that you're trying to impress, they trying to impress you too. So really it cancels out. Nobody's really impressive because if I'm trying to impress you and you trying to impress me and we both, what I'm saying, about to be out in the street, but yet we trying to impress each other. Are we really winning? Like, so you got that going on. And then, chances are 9 times out of 10, we don't own. And, we won't just say, oh, you know what? What if we both just move together or we live together, we cut our costs or whatever the case may be, and we figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We're so busy on trying to buy the nicest cars and have the fanciest things. And it's not all of us. So let me not generalize it and make it seem like it's everybody. It's not everybody, but it's a lot of us. Enough of us to where, it's a problem. We won't, figure it out. Like, granted, if we could, I would definitely, cohabitate with another family or somebody that I could trust to be around the kids and we just figure it out and make it work. But, even marriage, bro. Like people sleep on how important marriage is and how it could benefit you. Which, Rich, I already know where you're going. So let me say, if you pick the right person, you know what I'm saying. If you pick the right person and you get married, then things work out, and there's a lot of benefits to it too. To the point that even if the marriage doesn't work out and things fall apart, the things that you benefit from being married and working together and pulling together your resources should be able to cancel out everything that could go wrong if the marriage falls out. And I see a lot of people on the internet talking about why they won't get married and what I'm saying, they don't want to get half of their stuff taken away and they don't want to go through a divorce. And if you keep it 100, bro, a lot of y'all don't have nothing to be taken anyway. So y'all need to stop looking at these celebrities and stop looking at these horror stories that you see from famous people because that ain't you, bro. You don't have nothing. Like if they take half from you, they're taking half for nothing. Which, granted, you'll still have nothing. But the good news is you didn't have nothing to begin with. So anything that you get and you build together, if they take half of it, then half of it theoretically in a perfect situation is what they brought to the table, bro. Like, and that's how I choose to look at it. Again, I don't give relationship advice. I don't give dating advice. Do what you want. It doesn't affect us over here. But all I can do is tell you the way that I see things. And from what I see, you know, me and my wife being married, we put our money together and we actively decide that this is how we're going to spend things and this is how we're going to live. We're going to live off one income. You take your money and you save it. I take my money, I pay all the bills. And, at the end, we square away and we come through and we work it off like that. If we decide that it doesn't work and we don't want to be married anymore and we have to go our separate ways, then it is my honest hope, and I know again, emotions come into things and they play how they do. Yeah, compatibility is way more important than people consider. 100%. Yeah, man. So, if things go left and things don't work out, there's a lot of opportunities that I've had access to that I wouldn't have had if we weren't married. Like, I remember when I had a job interview. Um, and you know, job interviews, whether it's an hour or 2 hours or whatever the case may be, if I have a wife and my wife has the ability to work from home and she works from home, that's daycare that I don't have to pay. That's XYZ that I don't have to worry about because my wife can just keep the kids. She can work from home and keep the kids. If I get that job and that job increases the value of our household, meaning that I bring home more money, and we decide to get a divorce, I would be stupid to not want to share the resources that I got from her with her because she did things that you can't really put on paper. Like again, her keeping the kids so I could go on a job interview. It's safe to say that I wouldn't have been able to get that job had she not been able to stay home and keep the kids. Or B, at the very least, I would have had to pay somebody, or I would have had to figure something out, or maybe reschedule that interview. Or there's a whole lot of other things that could have taken place that didn't have to take place simply because what I'm saying? She could just work from home and take care of the kids. So there's a lot of soft factors that people don't take into consideration of how being in a relationship saves a lot of headache and time, man. Like a lot of people want to try to relive their youth because they got money now and they couldn't get women when they didn't have money when they were younger or little and things like that. And to that, I say, bro, when your time is up, your time is up, man. Like trying to go back and chase your youth and relive your youth, man, that don't benefit nobody, bro. Like, yeah, you might feel good about yourself now. Your self esteem might be a little better, but once you get over that little high, what do you have to show for it? Like nothing. You can just brag about what you did, which ultimately bragging rights, you can't pay the bills off bragging. Maybe you could start a YouTube channel and you could brag and you might impress a bunch of younger kids and people that don't know better, but you know, to the adults and the people that are out here, you're not impressing nobody, bro. Like we see you. We know what you're doing. We know you out here, man. Like we know you're the old man in the club trying to relive your youth and you know what I'm saying? You're actively trying to impress people that ain't even worthy of being impressed. But have at it, bro. Good luck, man. I hope that works out for you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We just have this weird thing about trying to not want to grow up and deal with the responsibilities because it's boring or it's difficult when that's just a part of being an adult, man. That's just manhood or womanhood. That's just the reality of things. Like we can't be kids forever. We can't just sit up here and what I'm saying, try to be Peter Pan and just not want to grow up. Ultimately, one day we have to grow up and we have to deal with these things because they're not going to go away. So, yeah, bro. Let me see. What are we talking about? When you're in a family, so self is diminished, or at least it should be for the success of the family. 100%. And I think that is another issue. Like, people don't understand that. As simple as it sounds, people take that for granted. Like, when you're in a family, it's not you, it's y'all. Like, if you're really trying to be in a healthy family, then, sometimes you do have to put yourself aside and focus on the whole and not just you. And a lot of people aren't ready for that. And I do think that a lot of people shouldn't have families. Shout out to Tara Helms, man. Shout out to my girl Tara. She does a lot of videos, and a lot of her recent videos were just talking about how a lot of women are taking these vacations and doing all this stuff, and they're leaving their kids behind in like apartments by themselves and things like that. And you know, those people shouldn't have kids. Those people shouldn't be mothers. Like that is so crazy to me, and I can't even fathom it or begin to understand. But you know, a lot of people want to be adults and they want to be grown. They just don't want the responsibility. They just want to. A lot of people want to be adults without having to be an adult. Like in their mind, if they could be an adult without having to pay bills or deal with the responsibilities of what's required to be an adult, they would be in heaven. But bro, that's just not how it works. That's not the reality. Like if you're an adult, then yeah, you got responsibilities, and that's not the worst thing in the world because with that responsibility, you get a certain degree of freedom and you get, you know what I'm saying, you can do what you want. So it's a balancing act, man. It's a balancing act. And shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to y'all, man. We've been sitting here. It's been 80 minutes, going on 81 minutes, and we just been sitting up here chilling, just having a casual conversation on a big Saturday morning. I mean Friday morning. So shout out to y'all, man. I definitely appreciate y'all kicking it with the bull, man. Um, like I always say, y'all could be doing so many other things, but y'all are sitting here chopping it up with me. And I do not take that for granted. I truly, truly, truly appreciate that. And I'm eternally grateful for that. And thank you all, man. That's I really, really, really value that and I really appreciate that, man. Like y'all are honestly what keeps me doing this and enjoying Yorktown, man. Like the citizens of Yorktown make Yorktown so much fun, man. Y'all, I really enjoy y'all. I really appreciate y'all, and it's always fun to laugh and joke and shoot the breeze and just talk about foolishness and all of the crazy things that people do. But sometimes it's super cool to just talk about the real world and real life and what we're dealing with and what we're going through, man. Because a lot of people just really ain't out here doing that, and it's so crazy. Like it is so unbelievable to me that there's all these adults out here that are just I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Like I be trying to understand how people. Like sometimes I really genuinely don't even understand how people are out here living. Like I just don't get it. Like it genuinely does not make sense to me that there are so many adults out here that just really, really, really are just out here. It's just so crazy to me. But hey, it is what it is. So yeah, I appreciate all of y'all so much, and I am so glad that my wife is coming home today, man. I cannot say it enough. Like I need a break, man. I need a break, man. I'm so glad that she's coming back home today, man. I'm ready for her to get here. So I don't know. I don't know. And then my mom's coming up today as well. So that's super dope that, we can kind of, it's like a two for one. So wifey's getting here and coming home. And then the kids, my mom will be here. And the nanny's still here today. So I can actually kick my feet up and relax a little bit. We all need breaks. 100%, man. And I'm tired, but it's been me and these kids all week. And then what was that? Wednesday? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, man. I had to go to the dentist and I had to take them with me. And Amir was in my lap. And I think I didn't record it, but I took a picture of it. I definitely recorded us going to the dentist. But you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there getting my teeth cleaned and Amir is fidgeting around in my lap because I ended up having to take him to the dentist with me. And the lady, like when she was flossing, she went a little too deep and like cut my gum. And I just had to sit there and eat it because I had to take these doggone kids to the thing with me. So, my mouth is hurting and stuff. So I'm eternally grateful that you know what I'm saying. Uh, my wife and my mom are coming and the nanny's here today. So yeah, man, I'm definitely taking me a break. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Like, granted, I'm probably not gonna be able to take like a break for real, because I'm gonna still be here and the kids are still gonna be making noise and stuff. So there's that. But I know that was rough. 202 at the dentist. Yeah, man. Luckily Amani was chilling in her stroller, so she was cool. But Amir was on. I can't say Amir was on 10 because he wasn't terrible, but it was a little rough at that tail end when he like I said, when she was cleaning my teeth and he just started fidgeting around. That was aggravating, but overall, like it could have been so much worse. But it could have been like Amir really, really, really could have shown off, and he didn't. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, yeah, man, it's gonna be really nice to actually have people here. Um, and then tomorrow we're going to a birthday party for one of our one of our mutual friends that has a little small child. So we're going to do that tomorrow, which uh, uh gotta go. Hey, we gotta go because they always show up for us and you know show love and support to us. So it would be crazy to not go. But man, I would love to just stay and sleep in. So shout out to them. I'm subscribed to someone who has 303. Man, kudos to them, bruh. 303, man. 303. I tip my hat, man. Um, I definitely tip my hat to them. 303. I think I'm subscribed. I'm subscribed to somebody with 303 too. Is that person in the group? Because I know I am subscribed to somebody with 303 as well. And man, shout out to the people with 303, man. That like 202 is rough. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely an ordeal. But you know, what is it? There's I think it's the Dorico family that's on TLC. They have 14 kids. Um, See, that's what I don't like about friendships. But friendships are so tricky. Yeah, man. You know, like, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, bro. Like, granted, like I said, they always show up for us. So I would feel bad if we didn't. And, it's not like I don't have that many friends. Like, and honestly, the few friends that I had, there's a lot of friends that I started 2024 with that won't be making it into 2025. And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it is what it is, man. Like sometimes you just outgrow people. Sometimes, things just change. And like I said, it is what it is. So, it's like it's no hard feelings on my end. It's just sometimes people grow apart. So, I got a lot of so yeah, I say that to say, I don't have that many friends, and the few friends that I do have, a lot of them ain't gonna make it to next year just based off of, you know, just the way that life is moving, and we got different visions and different alignments, and that's all right. Like I said, there's no hard feelings. It's just that's just how life works out sometimes. Some people are with you forever, and some people are with you for a good amount of years, and that's all right. So yeah, man. Yeah, but I don't really do friendships like that either, man. And I think the older that we get, the less friendships that we have, and whoop de whoop. So there's that too. So yeah, man. Really trying to understand, but hell, I don't have no friends. Well, I don't feel like doing something. I don't want to be looked at funny because this one time I can't come. Right. And ironically, that's the thing about people. Like you could do 10, 12 things for somebody, but then the 13th time, you know, for whatever reason, it doesn't happen. And then they act like you wasn't there the other 12 times. And, it is what it is, but it's people, man. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you choose to look at it, the reality is the reality is that people are people, and whether we want to or not, as long as we live, we're gonna have to know how to deal with people. So, it is what it is, man. I get it, 100%. Trust me, exactly. Like, damn, I've been there for you before. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I do. I really do. I totally understand. But it's like, man, like I said, a lot of people that's around today probably ain't even gonna be around tomorrow. So it is what it is, man. So yeah. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. You just gotta be cool with it and understand that's how the game goes. But yeah. Nikki, you got any plans this weekend? What you got going on this weekend? I figure, we gonna go to this birthday party, probably make a little content out of it, as much as we can without being disrespectful. I ain't trying to take no pictures of nobody's house or nothing like that, but, just packing up the kids and everything, all that good stuff. No plans. Those are the best weekends when you could just randomly, kick it or do nothing. Those are the best. So yeah, if we wasn't going to this birthday party. But yeah, even with that, being a wife, we already talked about it. Like I said earlier, with this savings plan and financial direction that we're going down right now, like a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people, for starters, aren't going to make it into 2025 with us, which is cool. But the flip side of that is also a lot of people ain't gonna see us. Like in the off chance that some of these people do make it into next year, like bro, we ain't showing up, so don't invite us, don't call us. Like no hard feelings whatsoever. It's just again we on this budgeting and the saving plan, and nah, we ain't gonna be able to make it. So just letting you know in advance, you should invite somebody that's probably gonna be able to show up, and then you don't have to worry about coming to any of our stuff because we ain't throwing nothing. We saving. So that's definitely gonna work itself out. Like we for the next year or so, or however long it takes to fix everything, we are turning into hermits. We're primarily focused on fixing our bread, getting our money up, and just staying out of the way. So, you know, if you can't make it, well, you don't even have to feel bad about not being able to make it to anything that we might have because we ain't gonna have nothing anyway. So it's all love. Like exactly when you're trying to get your life together, but folks want to keep having events. Yeah, y'all can have all the events y'all want. We not coming. And again, if you don't understand that, then I get it. It is what it is. But you're not about to guilt trip us or nothing like that. Like we just gotta save, man. It is what it is. Like our big, big, big focus is getting ourselves out of debt and what I'm saying, fixing things and making sure that we are good. So what was that? Oh Lord. I hope Amir ain't breaking nothing. But oh well. Yeah, man. So that's the type of time we on, man. We we just chilling, man. We ain't doing all that extra stuff. Like, again, don't invite us because chances are we not coming. And it's no hard feelings. We just we're just trying to fix our lives. So that's the plan. We got shout out to my brother Dan in the building. Congratulations. Shout out to my guy Daniel, man. He just had what I'm saying? They just had a very, very, very big blessing go their way. So shout out to the guy, man. Congratulations once again. Kudos to you and your beautiful, lovely wife, man. I'm so happy for y'all. And I hope that, a lot of positive things continue to go you guys' way, man. That's super dope. And I'm 100% happy for y'all, man. I'm glad that, everything was successful and turned out okay and well, man. That's a very, very, a very, very good thing, man. So I'm happy for y'all, man. No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, man. Good news. But yeah, like I was saying, next year, man. Well, not even next year. We're starting. ASAP. Like I'm going back to the whiteboard. As y'all can see, I got my whiteboards laid out. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to buy a new desk, and I'm gonna fix this room and get it the way I want it to be full time. And then once I get that set up, I'm gonna take one of my whiteboards because I have so many whiteboards. I'm going to make our budget, which I think the beginning of last year I set a budget, and that's what we use to work on our finances. And we put everything up. And I may do an updated version because that last time I did it, we completely fell off the wagon with that budget. But basically, what we did was we put up all of our income, all of our expenses, and all of the debt that we had, and we came up with a plan to take care of everything. Which, granted, like I said, things change. Shout out to the whiteboard. Yeah, man. Like, hey, shout out to the whiteboards. Let me see. I got one, two, three, four whiteboards up, and then I got another one that I got to make room for. But I got to get this office right, so I got to buy a bigger desk, and I'm probably gonna take this TV and put it in the kids' room. I got another TV up there that's mounted, but I'm gonna bring that down a little bit, and we just gonna focus on getting that together. But I said all of that. Once we get that done, the goal is to focus on getting out of debt, man, and just getting everything right. Which, granted, like I said, we were on the right track, man, but then them people laid me off and blah blah blah, whoop de whoop. So we had to pivot a little bit, but we're gonna get back on it and definitely get right, man. And I definitely encourage everybody. A lot of people won't tell y'all that. A lot of people don't even like to admit that they in debt. But if you got the opportunity, to where you are making extra income, definitely take that and try to work your way out of debt as much as possible, because having debt, especially now, today, with the way that interest rates are and how much stuff costs, man, it really doesn't do us any services to have debt. So if you can alleviate it or get rid of it, what I'm saying, definitely do that and save your money or invest your money in other ways that will help you bring more money. Because, a lot of people will sit up here and tell you a bunch of stupid stuff that don't mean nothing, but then you try to ask them for some solid information or some solid advice, and then people start talking mumble mouth and all kind of foolishness. And so, yeah, man, like I said, over here, we just keep it 100, man. If you, like me, have any type of debt, then you definitely want to get rid of it as much as possible to the best of your ability. That way you can really maneuver and enjoy, your paycheck. Cause shoot, whether you realize it or not, you would have so much more money if you didn't have to worry about paying off stuff that you probably didn't even really need in the first place. So yeah, man, that's if I could give any of the young folks like some advice or some nuggets of wisdom, that is what I would tell y'all, man. Like, oh, and a big one. Don't go to college if you don't know what you're going for. Like if you want to be a doctor and you really enjoy being a doctor, um, then yeah, you have to go to college. If you want to be a teacher and you enjoy being a teacher and you understand 100% that teachers don't make that much money and you still decide that you want to be a teacher just because you genuinely love being a teacher and working with the kids, then by all means, you have to go to college because there really isn't a way around that except if you do. I know in South Carolina, there's the PACE program where they use your experience that you have and count it towards, your teacher certification over time. But, you can go that route, but even if you go that route, you're going to make even less money, but you won't have debt. So it kind of balances out. So, there's options and there's ways to work around it, but it's just all about how you want to do it. But if your peoples are trying to push you into college because you don't know what you want to do, don't go. I hate, Fred. Don't go. Because all you're going to do is get a bunch of debt. You're going to get up there and you're going to start playing around and clubbing and doing a whole bunch of stuff that's not really going to help you out in the long run. And then you're going to look back and have all this debt and you're going to be overqualified for a bunch of positions that you know what I'm saying, you probably would be able to get, but you can't get them now because you're quote unquote overqualified because you went to college. Like, no, I don't do it. A lot of things, what I would see based off of being in the construction industry, I would tell people if you feel the need to go get some sort of education, then go to a trade school and pick up a skill. You know, go get a plumbing certificate or become an electrician or a contractor because these are the people today that are making money hand over fist. Like all these white collar jobs that used to exist, they're getting removed. They don't really exist anymore. The people that are really eating out here are the contractors, the mechanics, the people that really do tangible things with their hands. They're the ones that are out here eating, making money hand over fist. Like knowing what I know now, I definitely, if I knew that ultimately I was going to end up in the construction industry anyway, I would have, went to figure out how to get a certification for, those skills. Or I would have went that route, bro. Like, granted, don't get me wrong. I enjoy college. I met a lot of beautiful people. I have a lot of relationships that linger on from college, people that I still talk to this day. So, there are benefits of that. But as far as my career, like I said, I went to school to be a teacher. And I don't teach because teachers don't make that much money. Let's just call it what it is. Teachers do not make that much money. And you pay all this money for student loans and you get to the finish line and you look up and no lie, the amount of the loans that you have are more than the salary that you get paid. So you're already starting off in the negatives out the gate. You graduating and you're getting your career and you're starting off in the negatives. It's 3:18. Let me check on my wife. She's supposed to be landing soon. She didn't text me yet. On the plane delayed. That was an hour ago. Okay. So we still good. We can still chop it up. But yeah, man, that's again, a lot of people won't tell y'all that. A lot of people don't like to be honest and say what it is. But bruh, if you can avoid it, don't go to college unless you're going to one of these, unless, like I said, you have to go to college for your career track. If you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're, a teacher, or if you're doing something that you truly love, and the only way that you can get there is by having a degree, then yeah, that's totally different. But if that's not your circumstances and you can get that same thing without going to college, then definitely do that because you'll be starting off without the debt and ultimately you'll save so much money, bruh. Like you'll save money, you'll save time, you'll be making more money, and then you'll get experience. So, you know, that's that's solid advice. Like I'm not pushing my kids to college. If they want to go to college, then we're gonna have a discussion and we're gonna make sure that they're going to college because what I'm saying they are picking a profession that they are required to have an education that is forcing them to go to college. That's totally different than just going just to go because you got to get out the house. We not doing that. That stops with my generation, I hope. But you know, if you want to get a trade and make bread early, and then a lot of people go to college just to party. Yeah, I racked up student loans on bull, so I agree. Yeah, like bro, that's the thing. People act like you have to go to college to party, bro. There are plenty clubs that you can go to without getting a degree. If you want to join a fraternity or a sorority, you don't have to go to a 4-year college. You just have to be a graduate. You can get an associate's degree, from my understanding, and you can do that. So you don't need to go to, like, again, unless you're picking a career that you're required to go to college, you don't have to go to college, y'all, and you will be just fine. Life will work out for you. Like, I remember when I was working at Food Lion, the manager of the Food Lion made a fairly decent salary, and he didn't go to college and here I was with a master's degree, and I number one had to ask him for a job. Like he looked out for me because we went to high school together. Which shout out to him, man. He really looked out heavy. But he didn't go to college, and he was running the store, the entire store, and he was younger than me. And here I am with a master's degree. I gotta put my hat in my hand. I gotta ask him for a job. You know what I'm saying? Because the situation's turned. So yeah, man, don't let people guilt you or shame you into going to college, and don't let people make you feel like because you don't have a degree, you're less than or you're not just as smart because going to college doesn't determine how smart or dumb you are. That's not how it works. Going to college just means that got a specialized education in a certain particular thing because that's what, you know, you wanted to do. So there's that. I hope that that stereotype dies that if you don't have a college degree, you're stupid or you're dumb or whatever the case may be, because that's not true. There are plenty of dumb people with college degrees, and there are plenty of smart people that never went to college. So, you got to take that for what it is. And like I said, man, don't let people guilt you and shame you into going to school, bro. You know, I would always say get your certifications, man. Like even with my degree, I'm always looking for certifications that I can knock out because certifications show that you have a skill set in something in particular. So, it's specialized knowledge, which you don't have to go to college to get. So, definitely. Focus on them certifications, y'all. Don't let people trick you and con you into doing stuff that you don't feel like doing because that's not your path, that's not your journey. Everybody has their own. And, like I said, people be out here giving stupid advice from what they seen or what they heard, but they haven't lived themselves. Don't listen to people like that, y'all. I'm telling you what I know based off of my experience. So, if you choose to listen, you understand that you're getting stuff from somebody that's been there, and I'm telling you what I saw on the other side. You got a lot of people out here that are just talking and they're saying stuff, but you look at their credentials, you look at their track record, and they don't know what they're talking about. They just run their mouth on YouTube. Like the stuff that I'm telling you from firsthand knowledge because I did it and I went down that road. So I'm just trying to help out. But I think my wife's flight just landed, so I'm about to get ready to head to the airport. Once again, I appreciate everybody that pulled up. Shout out to my girl Nikki P. Shout out to Slim Jim Longfoot. Shout out to the Southern Project, aka Rich. I appreciate all of y'all, man. I'm about to go pick up my woman, and I'm gonna see y'all a little later. All right.